Before he leaves office, I'm Dave Anthony.
What he's doing right now is most of us as Americans find disgusting.
Republican Senator Tim Scott reacting on Fox to the new Biden pardons. He already set a presidential record with pardons and commutations for thousands, including his son Hunter Biden, and now
President Joe Biden is now issuing preemptive pardons for former Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley, former COVID point man Dr. Anthony Fauci, and the members of the House Select Committee on the January 6th riot, which would include the likes of former Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney. President Biden, in a press release, says he did this to prevent a politicized prosecution.
That's Fox's Evan Brown. It could make for awkward conversation when President Biden and President-elect Trump get together next hour at a tea and coffee White House reception. The president-elect has suggested he could pardon some of his supporters convicted for their roles in the 2021 Capitol riot. Just one of the many things on the Trump to-do list.
You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy, lots of them.
President-elect Trump at a pre-inauguration rally last night.
Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration will be repealed within hours of when I take the oath of office.
Our 45th president will become our 47th in about 4 hours. In his inaugural address, he'll call for a revolution of common sense, saying we'll enter a thrilling new era of national success with a tide of change. The Trump return comes the day after the ceasefire went into effect in Gaza, and Hamas released 3 hostages who've been reunited with their families in Israel, while 90 Palestinian prisoners were also set free.
People gathered around buses that were escorted by the Red Cross and waved Hamas flags while chanting. The region will now wait 6 days until the next exchange of hostages for prisoners, at which point an additional 4 people are expected to be released from Gaza.
Fox's Trey Yingst. America's listening to Fox News.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Again, our top Fox News story just breaking. President Biden, on his way out of office today, issued more pardons, preemptive pardons, for former Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley, former COVID point man Anthony Fauci, and also members of that House committee investigating the January 6th riot. It was led by Democrats, but there were some Republicans, including ex-Congresswoman Liz Cheney. President Biden says he did it to prevent a politicized prosecution by the incoming Trump administration. Now back to the Trump executive orders that are coming after he's sworn in as president again today. 11 are related to border security as he plans a mass deportation of illegal immigrants. There are also actions related to energy, and TikTok will get a lifeline.
TikTok had actually shut down for a few hours in the U.S., but then the president-elect said he'll be issuing an executive order delaying the TikTok ban and producing a deal to protect U.S. national security. He wants the U.S. to be a partner of the Chinese-backed company. He told a Washington rally Sunday,
There's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything.
The company said, we will work with President Trump on a long-term solution. Congress was so concerned last spring about TikTok's parent company ByteDance and its ties to the Chinese government that they passed the ban on the social media giant in a bipartisan vote. In Washington, Joel Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down slightly ahead of today's trading. In the NFL playoffs, a dramatic finish in Buffalo.
The whole season essentially comes down to this play for these two great teams.
The Baltimore Ravens scored a late touchdown and then tried to tie the Bills, but a 2-point conversion failed, so the Bills went on to beat the Ravens 27-25. Buffalo advances to the AFC Championship game. Philadelphia beat the Rams to go to the NFC title game. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. New guaranteed transfer policy for Illinois high school graduates goes into effect this fall. New policy allows high school grads in the state to transfer to any University of Illinois system from any college or university in the U.S. with guaranteed admission. Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial a step closer to finishing. Attorneys for the former Illinois House Speaker formally rested their case. There was a brief rebuttal case from prosecutors, who then also rested. Jurors expected to return this Wednesday to begin hearing closing arguments. A few months ago, Urbana Police launching a new clergy patrol, pairing local faith leaders with officers. It takes the pressure off the policemen, according to Dave Ashby of UPD's chaplain. It allows them to do the job, the primary job they need to do. Urbana PD hopes the program will help bridge the gap between law enforcement as well as community members. All right, to check in news on your Monday. Now you're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, we're going to go live to Washington, D.C. Jeff Wilson, who's county board member, is standing in line ready to get into the big arena to have a viewing party for today's inauguration. We'll be to Jeff here in just a moment. Our meteorologist is Greg Solier. Sir, it's what you said. It's like 0, man.
Right. Yeah, it is cold out there, and the cold is far-reaching, heads up down towards Brother Johnny's place, the Gulf Coast. Winter storm advisories, watches, warnings for snow and ice, would you believe, my friend, up in effect all the way down there.
Man, oh man. All right, it's our meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
They remind you the Health and Wellness Center is open. If you'd like to check it out, it's over by Brookins, open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays 8 to 6, $5 admission, or you can become a member. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
All right, cold in Washington, the real temperature at 12 above 0 with a little wind chill out there, but here it's even colder, and I think getting a little colder tomorrow maybe, bud?
Yeah, later on tonight and tomorrow, the main mother load of this Arctic air spills on southward. Yeah, they're close to the 20-degree mark out there at the nation's capital, but that's probably the day's high, and so they may be looking at readings slowly falling, so good idea to bring those activities and events indoors. Snow and freezing rain expected to make its way from Galveston, Houston, Corpus Christi along the Gulf Coast and through the Florida Panhandle over the next couple of days. So the advisories and warnings down there. Here, 1 below currently at the Willard Airport, at 1 below as well over at Rantoul. Going to be a struggle on temperatures for the day today, topping out somewhere right around 13, 14 degrees. Wouldn't be surprised in the sunshine. We eke out a couple of snow crystals or snow flurries this afternoon. It is bitter air, but it's relatively saturated air, not too far up off the ground. So a flurry this evening, even colder, lows to about 5 below, and a west wind for the day tomorrow. Sunny, very cold at 5 above, but we moderate here into the 20s on Wednesday, partly sunny, maybe a snow shower and flurry at 31 on Thursday, near 30 on Friday. Then better temperatures here for Saturday and Sunday, maybe a rain snow shower Saturday, dry Sunday, weekend highs back into the 30s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, buddy, we appreciate it very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to Washington, D.C., our friend Jeff Wilson. This is the day the Lord hath brought. You've got hope in America. Jeff, where are you?
Amen to that, Stevie J. I'm standing in a long line that's over a mile long. We've been here for 2 hours, but it's a toasty 20 degrees compared to where you're at. A lot of excited people here, a lot of red hats.
How many layers do you have on, Mr. Wilson?
My wife and I, we have about 3 or 4 layers, plus we have heated vests and heated gloves. It's a great crowd. There's a lot of friendly people here, a lot of police. We got here about 5:30, had to walk a half hour just to stand in line. We've been in line for over 2 hours now.
There's a woman from Michigan I heard on Fox News. She has 6 layers on, including plastic, and she was there since 8:30 last night, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, well, we're crazy, Stevie, but not that crazy. But, yeah, there's people from California, Oregon, let's see, Tennessee we met. Texas. Yay, Tyler, Texas. Yeah,
Hey, are you?
We're all having fun here. We're waiting for John.
Are you disappointed it had to go inside, or are you happy?
Yeah, well, I was sort of disappointed because Mary Miller gave us tickets that were in the orange area, pretty close to Trump, and that was a lot of fun. So, anyway, that's okay. We thank God that we could be here, and be part of history. I mean, how could you miss something like this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Jeff, what have the other celebrations been like this weekend? I saw some pretty pictures. You're all gussied up.
Yeah, we were all gussied up. We had to go find a tuxedo, and Becky looked wonderful in her sparkly dress. We went to the All-American Ball.
Wow.
And Lee Greenwood was there singing God Bless America. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Can you describe what it's like with the people in line? The energy has to be palpable.
The energy is really good. You know what? But actually, it's very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. It's like people are just quiet and just anticipating getting inside. And it's actually really awesome. Once in a while, we'll say USA, USA, and then we're all trying to stay warm in this long line.
Well, and here you are with like-minded people, Jeff. That has to be really, really fun.
Yeah, it's not like the Champaign County Board. Yeah, there's a lot of like-minded people. It's pretty funny.
This is your reward for enduring all those meetings.
Yes, amen. I don't know. You think they'll accept me back in the meeting Thursday night after all this?
Maybe not.
Maybe
not. Maybe not.
I might be glowing.
Yeah.
The Capital One Arena, I guess, is hosting the inaugural parade, and that holds 20,000 people. Do you plan to check out the parade later, Jeff?
Oh, we'll be there. We get in, and the doors are open now. Crowds are moving pretty fast here. It's like a big stampede. But yeah, we'll be there for when Trump shows up and the parade and all that other stuff.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're there.
It's pretty exciting. Wish you were here.
Yeah, you're witnessing history. This is a big day in America. There's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of people excited, including me, and a lot of people praying for the president. And I'm glad that you're there to witness this, Jeff. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generation, maybe once-in-a-century experience. So we're just grateful that we can be part of it with all these wonderful people here.
Well, that's what happens when you're a young man. You can travel to Washington and do things like this. Jeff, well done, you and Becky and the Millers and everybody else you're hanging out with. Thank you for being on this morning, and get inside, man.
Yeah, it's great to be your on-the-spot reporter.
That's right.
Anyway, God bless America, and thank you, Stevie J. You have a great day.
You as well. Jeff Wilson live in the line to get into the arena for the watch party, then viewing a little parade. Donald Trump will go and be there, at least make an appearance. He did a rally in the same arena last night. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of clips to play from that here as we go on this morning. It is 7:13. There was a big basketball game yesterday. We have a lot to say about that. As you probably are thinking.
Some questionable calls, for instance.
There's just no way Kasparis Giannakis was going to play in that game.
Right.
They were not going to. They couldn't. We were decidedly better than Michigan State, but not without Kasparis. It was much more equal without him in the game. Will Riley was awesome. He came in and kept it going.
16 of his 19 points in the first half. But yeah, Kasparis 5 fouls in 9 minutes.
Yeah, it was egregious. I mean, there might have been one or two that were legit, but I'm not sure there were one or two that were legit fouls. It was maybe one, but it was ridiculous.
Well, Illini Nation sure showing a lot of clips on X last night, for sure.
And I saw all 5 of them replayed because that was going around X last night. And Brad Underwood obviously really disappointed in all of that. But he was good. He was very mature and handled it well. I'll play a few of those clips here coming up. Brother Johnny, you got to jump on at the bottom of the hour. Got a lot of clips from Donald Trump at the rally last night.
Okay.
But we'll play Tom Izzo, who called Illinois the best team in the Big Ten.
Right.
After the game.
And it looked like Tom was a little frustrated with the officiating, too.
Well, he usually is. Brand hasn't done a ton with that. And I've never gotten on here and railed against officials. I don't remember ever complaining against the officiating. But that team that was the officiating crew last night were supposed to be the best in America, 7 Final Fours, and well, they were awful. They were absolutely awful. And you took the best player out of the game, and Illinois loses. But I wasn't that upset. I said, you know what? I know what we have. We have as good a basketball team as I can ever remember here, including the Flying Illini, including 05. This team may be deeper than all of them. we have a chance to do great things in March, including winning 6 games. We have that kind of a team. You can lose like we did last night, and we still had the ball with 10 seconds to win after all of that.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
had the ball to win.
Now, at the backstop and shooting over the back, some people were questioning how that.
That's a rule. Apparently, it must have touched one of the wires.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It wasn't going in anyway. But what almost happened is Perez almost got the rebound and would have put it back up to tie the game.
Yeah.
But again, we had the ball with a chance to win, and we threw it away.
Okay.
So, and we missed 10 free throws. But boy, were we handicapped by not allowing the Kaspars, Jaka Jonas, and too bad for CBS.
Right.
A national audience. Clark Kellogg was there, the whole thing, and we couldn't see him play. That was a shame. Because had he played, I think we win. 10,
Right.
15-point win. I think we just beat them. I mean, Illinois is really good.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten, we had number 20 Michigan take down Northwestern 80-76 in overtime. And let's see, over Nebraska. Is that Maryland 69-66? Tonight is Rutgers at Penn State. We've got Maryland Thursday
Rutgers and
at
Penn
8.
State, didn't they play yesterday?
Rutgers and Penn
They
State.
had to hold a Penn.
State.
Was that? No, I'm sorry. It was another game.
Okay.
But yeah, we got Illinois and Maryland Thursday night, 8:00. And listen, I am so comfortable with who we are and how good we are. And now we just need to go string a whole bunch of them together, stay healthy, and see what happens. Because I think Illinois is a really, really, really good team.
Well, and of course, we have tickets to hand out for that Thursday game against Maryland in case you'd like to text in Illini and try to win from Express Employment Professionals, expresspros.com.
All right, if you want that, go ahead and text in Illini. 217-359-2255 in the Fisher National Bank text line.
Michigan State, number 22, taking down Illinois women yesterday, 86-68. They've got Northwestern up in Evanston Thursday at 7. Well, when it comes to the national championship game tonight, Stevie, who you got, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
If Notre Dame wins, they're a team of destiny because they're not as good as Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State is 10 points better. And I expect Ohio State to be the national champion tonight. If Notre Dame wins, they are indeed the team of destiny.
As I was looking at some of the AFC and NFC playoff games, lots of bad weather. I don't know how they can see the line.
Well, the Rams couldn't. They couldn't function in a blizzard.
Right.
They're from Los Angeles.
I know.
And Matt Stafford played in Detroit, which is a dome.
Mm-hmm.
So he played a long time there, but it was just so different with the blizzard, and Baltimore played better in it. I'm sorry, Philadelphia played better in it.
Right. Philadelphia beat the Rams 28-22. Buffalo over Baltimore 27-25. Kansas City over Houston 23-14. Washington over Detroit 45-31. Here we thought the Tigers were going to make it.
Lions. But
Oops.
they had 18 players on the injured list.
Oh, wow.
The defense was gone. And
Okay.
people speculated they couldn't survive that. They were right. Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking to improve the health of community members across the region. If you'd like to join the team, there's opportunities for growth. Consider visiting carl.org/careers.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign and Van Ness vicinity, wide and far-reaching cold wave weather conditions all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where wind chill advisories are in effect, along with winter storm watches and warnings and advisories for accumulating snow and ice. Places like Corpus Christi, Galveston, Houston, over towards Brother Johnny's place there in New Orleans, and east into the Florida Panhandle over the next couple of days. Back this way, maybe a snow flurry or an ice crystal later this afternoon out of this very cold, bitter cold air. The high at about 14, which is a pretty decent recovery. West wind, though, will be gusty all day long. Lingering flurry chance this evening. Bitter cold in the overnight, down near 5 below. Tomorrow, sunny, very cold at 5 above. On a west wind, we'll bottom out near 0 with slowly rising temperatures tomorrow night. Wednesday, partly sunny, not so cold, back into the 20s there. A couple of snow showers and flurries on a cloudy Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday, and into the 30s we go for the weekend. Maybe a rain snow shower Saturday afternoon. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The markets are closed today for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. On this inauguration day, Goldman Sachs chief economist Jan Hatzius says the U.S. economy is in a sweet spot with healthy growth and gradual disinflation, and the market is possibly too pessimistic on the pace of Fed interest rate cuts. He says the key question is how aggressively tariffs will be applied by the incoming administration. Kohl's has a new CEO. Ashley Buchanan, a retail veteran, took over last week. The Wall Street Journal says the retail chain has been hearing from longtime customers that they want the company to undo the changes from departing CEO Tom Kingsbury. Kohl's has had 3 CEOs in the past 3 years. Sales have been slumping. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola. Invested in you.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. All right, so I did not hear about this accident. When did this happen?
Sunday morning at 1:55 or Saturday night near Carl. Urbana Police Department is searching for a driver that fled after rear-ending a car, killing one passenger and seriously injuring another. It was 1:55 at University and Kohler. They're calling it a severe traffic crash. As officers investigate, they found that the Honda Civic and Mitsubishi SUV were involved in this crash. The SUV traveling the same direction behind the Civic. SUV hit the Civic, damaging both cars, injuring some of the people behind in the car. The Urbana Fire Department responded to the scene, helped remove from passengers from the car, and providing life-saving medical care. 5 people inside of that Civic, all of them taken to the hospital. 2 were released with minor injuries. 2 were still hospitalized, 1 in critical condition. A 20-year-old woman was the passenger in the Civic, later died at the hospital, her identity being withheld until her family is notified.
Heartbreaking. And they didn't say students or anything. I guess the students are back, aren't they?
That's right.
They start school tomorrow?
They'll start tomorrow.
I think the campus got crowded again over the weekend.
The driver of the SUV ran away on foot on Kohler. The officers have been unable to locate him as of 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Well, you know who he is then. I mean, you got the car, so you got the license, which mean you can track it. So unless he stole the vehicle, you've got somebody you're going to be able to find.
Of course, Crime Stoppers at 217-373-8477 and their website, P3 Tips. Is their mobile app. So if you heard anything or know anybody involved, please report so the Urbana Police Department can investigate this more thoroughly.
Well, that's a shame. All right, it is 7:25. I'm going to get Brother Johnny on for a few minutes here. I got a lot of clips from the Donald Trump rally last night. Illinois loses at Michigan State 80-78. I put an asterisk on that because, again, we've lost, 4 games this year? And 2 of them without Kasparis. Well, you can't count yesterday. He didn't play. So, thought Brad handled everything pretty well after the game.
Handled a lot of tough situations today pretty well. Best player in the game, played 8 minutes. We saw just a little bit of what he could do when he was in. Just controlled the whole game with pick and rolls and passes. And unfortunately, today he didn't get to play. Will Riley, I thought, was kind of broke out of what he's been in. Truthfully, I thought the game was the free throw line. You can't go on the road and miss 10 free throws. Can't come in here and miss free throws and expect to win against a team that I thought they guarded exceptionally well and took our 3-ball away. But I thought Tommy, I do want to mention, gutted it up. I thought he was really good. He's got strep throat.
I mean, how in the world do you play with strep throat? You feel awful.
Oh my goodness, so weak.
He can't swallow. He woke up yesterday morning and couldn't breathe. So he got whatever we got out of Tommy Isevich. That's I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Your best player can't play. Too many fouls, and your other best player is sick.
He's been on antibiotic for 3 days. Just the opportunity to play just feels awful. But so all in all, I thought our bench was good. Did a nice job, and thought we did everything situationally pretty good down the stretch.
The job that Michigan State did defensively, Kasparis, in the little bit of time that he was out there, what did they do defensively, maybe or I guess more on the offensive side in terms of drawing the fouls from him?
All right, this is good. This is great. Brad, I can see by his face, oh boy. What'd they do to make him foul?
Well, they did nothing defensively. He was diced him up to start the game. If anybody thinks that he was guarded very well, there hasn't been one player in the country or one team in the country guard him with any success. He's a maestro. He is completely different than anybody else. And you saw the little 3-minute stretch he went on that he did play. Every bucket was easy. He got a layup. He's that dude now. He is. Don't make any mistake. If he's not the best point guard in the country, he is very close. And he's 18 years old.
When he was on the defensive end, what did they do to draw the fouls?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen that all year. I don't know. I got to look at the film. I would be just speculating. One, he's laying on the floor the first play of the game. He's laying on the floor when they called it. So
well, and they called it like hold on.
A lot of tough situations.
They called it 3 seconds after the play. Mm-hmm. It was the beginning of the game, and he goes down. The ball goes up. We get the rebound. He fouled him back here.
Right.
What in the world is that?
I don't know.
Unreal.
Today, pretty well.
All right. So he toward the end, if I can skip to that part about the fouling. Let's see.
In the back and pushed into a guy, and I mean that one was just.
All right, hold on. This is great. He called the foul gross, the one where he was actually shoved to the ground and called for his 4th foul.
That one, especially till I watched the film, but the 4th one was awful. I'll say that. He got shoved in the back and pushed into a guy. I mean, that one was just gross.
And then the 3rd foul was the guy comes down the lane, steps on Kasparis' foot, and falls. Foul on Kasparis. He stepped on my foot, I didn't touch him.
Wow.
That was the 3rd foul. It was unbelievable for the, quote, veteran and the best officials on a nationally televised game. Mayhem.
Gross. I mean, how?
Yeah.
But, he doesn't make it to the first media. And so from that point on, it was, just trying to keep him a little bit fresh, a little bit engaged. We bought him a minute to give Kylan a little blow. And then at the 7-minute mark, they were on a little run, and then it was you either go back with your hosses and get it done and get back in the game. And I mean, he had a pretty impressive stretch there where he dominated the game and got us right back in it. And obviously the the fifth happened. And
Yeah, and then we get a technical. Really? The bench gets a technical. Okay, we lose by 2, and the bench gets a technical. The other guys were on the floor, too. Tom Izzo got a play changed because it was out on us, and he was like 6-8 feet on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no technical. Head shaker. All right, so we'll see him here. We at Michigan State back here, and I think we'll be okay at home. But, man, to be calling the fouls they called on our guy, it was just, yeah. So on to the next. It is Thursday night, 8 p.m. It's Maryland and Illinois and Champaign at State Farm. Be right back. 7:30. Brother Johnny coming up.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster.
Within hours of taking office, I will sign dozens of executive orders, close to 100 to be exact.
President-elect Trump at a pre-inaugural rally in D.C. says he'll get right to work when he takes office again today. That's not until noon Eastern, though, and President Biden has just announced preemptive pardons for some people he's concerned could be Trump targets. Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the congressional committee that investigated the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot.
This morning, President Biden and the First Lady will welcome President-elect Trump and Mrs. Trump to the White House. The two couples then head to the Capitol for the swearing in of the new president. Following the inauguration, President Biden and the First Lady will fly to Santa Barbara, California.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President-elect and Mrs. Trump start Inauguration Day at a service at St. John's Church in Washington this morning. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois State Board of Education seeking more than $11 billion for the upcoming fiscal year. Board approved the spending plan this week, which is a nearly 5% increase over this year's budget. It's unclear how much Illinois will set aside for public education, considering the General Assembly will be in charge of passing a state budget. A man's filed a complaint for employment discrimination against the University of Illinois Board of Trustees. Adam Delgado says he was not hired as the university's chief of police on the basis of age, national origin, and color. Delgado applied for the position back in 2023. Instead of hiring him, the then interim police chief, Matt Ballinger, got the job. Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial is a step closer to finishing. Attorneys for the former Illinois House Speaker formally rested their case. There was a brief rebuttal case from prosecutors, who then also rested. Jurors expected to return Wednesday to begin hearing closing arguments. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and Van Avis Saturday. Widespread cold wave weather pattern all the way down to the Gulf Coast and far east as well towards the Atlantic seaboard. And Inauguration Day will feature temperatures in the teens. Meanwhile, winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories all the way down to Brownsville, Houston, Galveston, Corpus Christi, over towards New Orleans and east towards Panama City and Tallahassee and Jacksonville in the coming days for snow and ice potential all the way down there. Around here, maybe a couple snow flurries this afternoon, even a couple of ice crystals in this bitter cold air up aloft. Mostly sunny, the high to about 14. Gusty west wind. Watch the wind chills. A few flurries tonight, maybe early on, with a bitter cold low of 5 below. Diminishing west wind for the day tomorrow. Sunny, very cold at 5, up to 24 on Wednesday. A couple of snow showers and flurries Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday. Maybe rain, snow shower Saturday. Dry Sunday. Weekend highs in the 30s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Can't get enough of this today. I can't get enough of this today. You got to just keep playing it and keep playing it and keep playing it.
Well, at 217-359-2255, it's a great day to have a great day, Stevie and Diane. God bless you both, and God bless the USA.
God bless America.
Thanks, Chris.
God bless Donald Trump. Hail to the chief. Brother Johnny down in New Orleans. You guys might get snow, Johnny. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, we heard it might snow Tuesday, so everything's been closed Monday and Tuesday. So everything's closed.
Everything's shut down.
It plummeted to about 27 by 6 a.m., and now it's 28, but it's a full-scale emergency. It's not going to be above freezing until maybe 8:30 or 9. So it's unbelievable.
Well, but I mean, how many snowplow trucks do you have in New Orleans?
Well, we talk about that one can of Morton salt. Then they used that up in '85 when I was talking to you. So they're just going to close the bridges. It's supposed to possibly snow tomorrow, and everything is closed. And so we'll just batten down the hatches. No, we're not ready for it. Mostly mentally, Steve. It's mental. But also, we have no trucks, we have no plows, we have no salt.
So, do the schools have an e-learning day? What happens? Do they add to the end of the year, Johnny? Do you know?
They just don't go to school. No, don't worry about that. They have hurricane days, and so we probably didn't use all of those.
Okay.
And so, no, e-learning, that's a good one.
Yeah, right. That's real effective. Hey, before we get to all the political great day that it is, the inauguration of Donald J. Trump, 47th President of the United States, I got a lot of clips from the rally and some others stand by, but I wanted to play what I just played about Brad Underwood talking a little bit about Kasparis, Yaga Jonas, and the foul.
Especially till I watched the film, but the fourth one was awful. I'll say that. He got shoved in the back and pushed into a guy, and I mean, that one was just gross. Gross. I mean, how... But, he doesn't make it to the first media. And so from that point on, it was, just trying to keep him a little bit fresh, a little bit engaged. We bought him a minute to give Kylan a little blow. And then 7-minute mark, they were on a little run, and then it was you either go back with your hosses and get it done and get back in the game. And I mean, he had a pretty impressive stretch there where he dominated the game and got us right back in it. And obviously the fifth happened, and so.
Yeah, and then the technical on the bench. Everybody's on the court and they whistle me. Come on, man.
Well, it was poorly officiated, I thought, all the way across. But the fouls on Jonas, I thought two of them. I thought when the guy tripped over his foot, I don't think that was a foul on him.
He stepped on his foot. He stepped on Kasparis' foot, fell down, and the guy under the basket did nothing. The guy way out at half court called the foul.
Right.
What was that? Anyway,
the guy fell down and grabbed his elbow, so he looked and
little acting going on.
Jones was standing right there. But he must have done it.
Yeah,
he
must have done it. Anyway, we'll get Michigan State in here in a few weeks. I guess February 15. They'll be back.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're real good. We're real good.
We're not as good without him.
Yeah,
but we're good. We're a good team, and you get the ball 1 point down. What do you want?
Yeah, right. Had a chance to win. Amazing after all that.
I thought too. One real quick. They were popping threes, not shooting open threes, popping them. And that hurt us because when we're shooting opens, we struggle. But popping them, Steve, I think we would have about to get 20%.
And also, didn't know this till after the game, but Tomislav Isavic has strep throat, so he was playing sick. And you feel horrible with strep throat. I mean, and he woke up in the morning and said he couldn't breathe very well, so obviously it didn't help us. He didn't feel...
We're fine. We're fine, Steve. We're fine.
Let's go get him.
We're going to be, as Bill Self told you, we'll be all right.
We're all right. We're all right. We're all right. Mm-hmm. All right, Brother Johnny in New Orleans, Donald Trump, yesterday at the rally in Washington, D.C., talking about it's happening soon.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back. Once and for all, we're going to end the reign of a failed and corrupt political establishment in Washington, a failed administration. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. We're going to unlock the liquid gold that's right under our feet. Liquid gold. We're going to bring back law and order to our cities. We're going to restore patriotism to our schools, get radical left, woke ideologies the hell out of our military and out of our government. And we are going to make America great again.
How about that energy, Johnny? That was last night in Washington, D.C. And
we've got the Martin Luther King holiday, the inauguration of Donald Trump 2.0, and we've got the Ohio State Notre Dame national team. It's a big day in America. It's a good day, a new era. Who you got in the game?
All right, Johnny, Ohio State's 10 points better, and if Notre Dame wins, it's absolutely their team of destiny because I think Ohio State's considerably better.
Well, traditionally I hang with the Big Ten, but Diane, today I'm a Catholic. I am a Catholic, and I got to tell you, I don't hate anybody. That's what our senator always says. Our Senator Kennedy down. I don't hate anybody. But I hate Ohio State generically, nothing personal. Go Fighting Irish! Come on, let's go,
all right, let's see what happens. All right, Donald Trump was advised not to do all of these executive orders in one day.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. 2 weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at the beginning. You know that old story. Let's do it later. Then it never gets done. No, we're doing them tomorrow. And we'll have plenty to sign in the future. Don't worry about it. It's not going to stop. But we're going to stop the destructive and divisive diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates all across the government and private sector and return our country to the merit system. You know, the Supreme Court ruled that the United States is allowed to go by the merit system, which is what made us great.
All right, so
how many executive orders are expected?
It's about 100, if not more. And he's probably signing some of them in the Capitol Rotunda where it only holds 600 people. And the people that are invited, if you're a congressperson, you can't bring your spouse.
Yeah, well, no kidding.
That's how tight it's going to be in there. Okay, so this just in, more pardons. You want to take any guesses?
2,000 more? I don't know.
Dr. Anthony Fauci?
Oh, my goodness.
General Milley?
Yeah. Well, I think
and of course, the state of Wyoming, joyful because Liz Cheney just got a pardon.
And I've been criticized a little bit because I've been using the word treason for some of the things those people have done. And now he's pardoning them. Well, maybe I had a point.
Why would you have to pardon them? Why would you have to?
Because they're guilty of things that probably could be prosecuted.
Yeah.
And that's why they're pardoning them. And their excuse is he's going to use lawfare, which is what they did, so they would expect him to, and especially when they're actually guilty. So anyway, it's fine, Steve. It shows basically that what we've been saying was pretty close to true, and when he signs those executive orders, it looks like Tuesday I'm going to have to watch The View again. Doggone it.
I'll wait for the clips on Fox. I can't watch it.
Yeah. That's probably better.
But there will be J6ers pardoned, like a lot of them, when the people that we arrested, didn't charge, and kept them in jail 1,400 days, they're going to get pardoned today, too.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people who were taken in, arrested, and given a terror tag that were just on the mall. There were 300. The percent of the resources we use, particularly FBI resources, which, by the way, is probably as potentially powerful a law enforcement group as anyone in the world, and we used at least 50% of our resources chasing down Americans. And meanwhile, Al-Jabbar gets loose on Bourbon Street down here. So, hopefully we'll focus on what we need to focus on and not go after people who disagree with your particular issue of the day.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, are we ready for this? Are we ready for true transparency? This is what the president said last night.
As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other topics of great public interest.
Can we handle the truth, Johnny?
I think we know it already. Well, we know what we were told wasn't true, so then it's just a matter of now, well, what really happened? And there'd be more pardons there, except most of those people have passed on, Steve. Yeah. But at least we'll have the official record is important. You have all these ideas, and basically it evolves to pretty much a mob hit, but we'll see. And
so you think the will there be things in the John Kennedy file that will shock us, or we think we know?
If you've read some of the books, I think the only thing that'll shock people is these nuts were right. The conspiracy theory that term to make you look like a nut came from November 22nd, 1963. They've got all these conspiracies. They're conspiracy theories. They're nuts. And anything that wasn't Warren Commission was a conspiracy theory. And it was basically theory that Oswald actually didn't shoot at him, and he was kind of working for the CIA and the FBI is a kind of a peripheral contract guy, although I think he had payroll checks. And that came out. They've already released all that. So we know that was true. Nobody ever went back and said, well, if that's true, what happened to this loner that went off to Russia to be a communist? Well, we never got the story there. And then exactly who else knew about it that was in government that helped keep us from finding out? And all that might shock some people. But I don't know if we'll really get the true transparency, but that sounds good. And it's amazing, Steve, it's been, 70 years-ish,
yeah,
and we still don't have everything released about it. That tells you something right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And what about Bobby Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King? There's more to the stories?
Yes. Yes. Well, that'll shock some people.
Wow.
I think that will shock some people. But, hey, Steve, a lot of is conspiracy theory, because what else can you do?
Yeah.
You know, look at what happened to Trump. A lot didn't make sense there. Like, why didn't our Secret Service agents fire when he actually started opening fire? Mm-hmm. The two on the roof and never even fired. Well, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories.
Oh, right.
Why? Because what we saw didn't measure with what we heard, and no one's telling us anything. So you start making stuff up. I mean, it's a real syndrome that we have, but it's justified because that's what people do. Well, here's what I think happened. And if we ever get, the straight shooting, things will be better. We can handle the truth a lot better than we handle the lies, let me tell you.
Well, and then you do have people saying that the reason the inauguration went inside the Capitol is because we couldn't protect the president. That's swirling around.
Well, I think that did have something to do with it, but it's also just freezing. But we've had 2 attempts on President Trump's life, so that's not paranoid. So, because we're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So you can shoot. One of those guys can hit you from 1 mile away.
I know.
Steve.
Unreal.
And so, they had the shields up, but you're walking around, this and that. I think that was another reason that they moved it inside in this case. But certainly, to have our friend John Decker out there from 2 o'clock on freezing, because he had to show up early, he was telling you.
Yeah.
He's in the press corps, and you talked to him on Thursdays, and he was going to freeze, man.
I know.
And that's just, it's been traditional. Reagan did have it inside.
Yep.
Ronald Reagan in 85. So it's been done,
Yep.
and I'm glad about it.
Well, okay, one more thing before I let you go. Listen to this. A rally, We Love Trump, We Love Trump, in Great Britain.
The great deplorables of the United Kingdom love you, we are with you, we stand with you, and we want you to succeed.
Tens of thousands of people in the streets cheering for the new American president. How about that?
That's unbelievable. Well, I think there's all types of people in every corner of the world. People really crave freedom, and they like our kind of freedom, which is individual independence, and that's why they want to come here. There's no mystery as to why people from other countries want to be here, and it's something to be proud of. But we've found out, I thought firsthand these last few years, you still got to stand up and fight for it, or it'll erode away. it'll erode away, and then you wake up one day and all of a sudden you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And we really got a taste of it during the pandemic. Some of it valid, some of it not. But you still have to be on guard because there's always someone that wants to take over the world, Stevie.
Yep. Well,
just like Men in Black, there's always an alien wanting to blow up the world.
I wonder if we'll get the full files from Area 51 about aliens and spaceships and stuff like that.
Bring it.
I mean, well, we're opening her all up. Let's go,
Well,
right?
Steve, I think that'd be carrying transparency a little too far.
Why
can't
not?
handle the
you
truth.
can't handle that truth. Yeah. That's
Let's go baby steps.
yeah.
Baby steps.
No, but he
So-
said in the next few days. I mean,
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
I'm way up for this. It was a long 4 years, and I can tell you, and we're all old enough, Diane, to know how fast 4 years goes.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Well, let's hope it's good, and let's hope things get better than they were. That's always the goal.
And we've always thought here that maybe there's been things handed to the President Biden, that he didn't know. Do you have time for one more minute?
Sure.
Okay, here's Mike Johnson from Louisiana, Speaker of the House. He's third in line to the presidency. Pretty powerful guy. He goes into President Biden. He told this story.
Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about
Talking
Ukraine.
to Biden here.
You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, And he looks at me stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order, 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President, respectfully, could I go out here and ask your secretary to print it out? We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas. Yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed.
Wow. Johnny, wow.
Yeah, and I think we kind of suspected there was a lot of that going on. And kind of remember Radar?
Yeah,
come in and,
Radar Riley.
And McLean Stevenson, University of Illinois Fighting Illini.
Yep.
Or was he Illinois State?
Illinois State, but he's from
Mash.
McLean County, but on MASH he was from Illinois. Yeah.
Yes, and Radar just come in and he just signed it away, and Radar would be talking about something, and boom, done. And so, yeah, that was probably part of it. But Mike Johnson is a straight shooter, too. And by the way, the top House guy speaker and the majority whip are both from Louisiana.
Wow.
And that's the only time in the history of the United States that those top two have been from one state.
How about that?
And I'll bet you wouldn't have bet on Louisiana as that.
Yeah, no, right. No, well done. Louisiana turned it around thanks to you and your term limits for the House and the Senate.
I don't think I had anything to do with that. But
no, it's
that's
huge.
good.
Johnny, thank you. Well,
All right,
God bless
Steve, it's a
America.
great day to be an American.
Great day,
All
baby.
right.
Thank
See
you,
you
Johnny.
later.
Talk soon. Johnny down in New Orleans, where they've shut it down because they might have snow.
President Trump attending a service at St. John's Church right now. It's all these different procedures going into the big inauguration, which will be at 11 o'clock our time.
Who's at the service?
What do you mean?
President Trump, Melania, Barron?
Right.
How many
I don't
family?
know if that's just an intimate gathering.
Oh,
then.
it's not a public thing.
Okay.
I mean, you have too much Secret Service around you right now. So you're the minister. I don't think it's a Catholic. I think it's just a St. John's Church. I don't know the denomination, but so you're the minister. Here comes the president-elect. You nervous? What you talking about? I would talk about hope and how, not since I don't know when, George Washington, when there's no way we beat the British and we win the Revolutionary War, and George Washington credited God and said, this is divine. We must not forget, this is divine. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Trump is president again, the people that support Donald Trump believe this is divine, that he probably should have died in Butler, Pennsylvania for not the turn of a head. And that all the things that happened, he's evil, he's Hitler, he's a fascist, he's going to ruin democracy. All that happened, he won with a majority? The American people saw through everything? That's divine. Unbelievable. All right, we check your weather brought to you this morning by Watts Copy Systems. If you want good, efficient solutions for your busy office, just get a free quote from the good people at Watts Copy Systems, 217-352-0428. Also by Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. And you're welcome to comment 217-359-2255. You want to call in, text in on this inaugural 2025. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. The president will be sworn in as the 47th president. Here's Greg.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign, Urbana, this Saturday. Widespread cold wave weather pattern all the way down to the Gulf Coast and far east as well towards the Atlantic seaboard. And Inauguration Day will feature temperatures in the teens. Meanwhile, winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories all the way down to Brownsville, Houston, Galveston, Corpus Christi, over towards New Orleans and east towards Panama City and Tallahassee and Jacksonville in the coming days for snow and ice potential all the way down there. Around here, maybe a couple snow flurries this afternoon, even a couple of ice crystals in this bitter cold air up aloft. Mostly sunny, the high to about 14. Gusty west wind. Watch the wind chills. A few flurries tonight, maybe early on with a bitter cold low of 5 below. Diminishing west wind for the day tomorrow. Sunny, very cold at 5, up to 24 on Wednesday. A couple of snow showers and flurries Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday. Maybe rain, snow shower Saturday. Dry Sunday. Weekend highs in the 30s. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Honest, professional, and affordable. That's what you get from Classic Plumbing and Air. Done right, guaranteed.
I'm Ty Rogers. I'm a basketball player from the University of Illinois. Juke out the competition and cross over to Classic Plumbing and Air. Take a shot and call Classic Plumbing and Air. At Classic Plumbing and Air, it's done right, guaranteed. We care about your air.
So if you need help with your heating, air conditioning, or plumbing, connect with Classic Plumbing and Air at classicplum.com.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
County board member Jeff Wilson and his wife are out there in Washington, and as disappointed as he was because he got some pretty good seats very near the Donald Trump speech at the Capitol outside.
Right.
With it moving inside, they're going to be at the viewing party in whatever Capitol Center. I think the hockey team plays there in Washington. And they've allowed people in so they don't have to be frigid. But many waited since last night. The earliest I heard was 8:30 last night. They're in line with 6 layers, the one woman, and plastic. I mean, now you have the heated vest, the heated socks. Can you get comfortable? I don't know. I mean, at some point, maybe, because you could get the unbelievable parkas that are rated to minus 90, but not anything can be showing. And if you have all the heated parts, perhaps you can sit there, but it's still a long night.
Yeah.
And you're probably not sleeping.
And then are they having a lot of porta potties then?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you've got to have them out there.
Okay.
And you want to go in a porta potty? You have to disrobe.
I know.
You have to disrobe to get under your 6 layers.
Not nice.
Not what I would want to do, but it is historic. Hey, over the weekend, I got to hold my granddaughter.
Congratulations.
And that was a blessing. And Janet and I got to hold Josephine Gray and Josie Gray, I think they're going to call her.
All righty.
Anyway, it was...
she's a beautiful baby.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And
first grandchild for you, Stevie.
Yes, and it is different. And I saw Tom and Lisa Ewing are great listeners, and he saw me Friday. He said, "You haven't held your baby, have you?" And I said, "No." He says, "I know. I can tell because it'll be different once you do." And it truly is. And it's... can't wait to see her again and hold her again. And
thanks for showing me the pictures of
she's a doll.
Janet is just in love with little Josephine.
It's just really beautiful. So, all right, guys, we're going to break for the news and be back. I want to play a little of the Jeff Wilson County Board member in line that we recorded. He's inside now.
Yes.
But
so things are moving right towards the end of his report.
Yep. And so we will also look forward to talking to John Decker on Thursday when we were talking about heated socks. I mean, that would be miserable to get there at 4 a.m. and be outside in your little news cubby.
That's right.
That would be awful. So I'm glad they moved it inside, and whatever the reason, maybe it partially was a little, gosh, it's hard to protect the president when 500,000 people show up. I don't know. I do know it's going to be way more comfortable. He was also thinking of not only the people there, but the emergency workers. They would have been out 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back after this. That's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
And I'm Stevie J, and it's 8 o'clock. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Parting gifts from President Biden. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hours before he leaves office, he's issued even more pardons on top of the record number of pardons and commutations the president's already handed out, thousands. But these are preemptive to protect General Mark Milley, former Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, and controversial ex-Trump and Biden COVID advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, and members of the Democrat-led House committee that investigated the January 6th Capitol riot.
President Biden in a press release says he did this to prevent a politicized prosecution by the incoming Trump administration, calling those he pardoned public servants who have served with honor and distinction.
That's Fox's Eben Brown. Here's reaction from Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn, who tells Fox,
"This is a president who has worked overtime trying to make illegal legal so it would suit his agenda, which is America last."
President-elect Trump is now at a church service in Washington 3 hours before he's sworn in as president again, telling supporters at a rally last night,
We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again.
In his inaugural address this afternoon, he'll call for a revolution of common sense, saying a tide of change is sweeping across the country. Later today, the president plans to sign about 200 executive orders after he takes office, including ones related to border security. And the Senate may vote today to approve the Laken Riley Act, named for the Georgia woman murdered by an illegal immigrant last year. The law allows for the removal of some migrants here illegally who have committed crimes. And Fox's Chad Pergram reports from the Capitol.
The Senate is expected to confirm at least one cabinet member tonight. That's likely Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Two other committees scheduled meetings to prep other nominees for the floor today. That includes John Ratcliffe as CIA Director and Kristi Noem for Homeland Security.
America's listening to Fox.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
President Biden's new pardons on his way out of office today add to a record number of reprieves he's given to thousands of convicts, and there were some yesterday, too.
President Biden posthumously pardoned black nationalist Marcus Garvey, who influenced Malcolm X, South African President Nelson Mandela, and other civil rights leaders. Supporters of Garvey, who was convicted of mail fraud in the 1920s and died in 1940, have advocated for a pardon, saying his conviction was politically motivated and an effort to silence him. Biden granted pardons or commuted the sentences of half a dozen other people on Sunday. On Friday, he commuted the sentences of almost 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses and previously commuted the sentences of 37 of the 40 people on federal death row, converting their punishments to life sentences. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
After a snowstorm hit the Northeast, the Deep South getting a dose of winter with storm and freeze warnings from Texas to Louisiana to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, over to Florida.
That's what it's like in Dallas, ups and downs, and we're ready for this one.
It's snarling some air travel, with 429 flights canceled. Another 1,200 are delayed, according to FlightAware. On Wall Street, stock futures are now rising before the opening bell this hour to start a new week and presidency. It's down to the final 4 in the NFL playoffs, including the Buffalo Bills, who survived a late Ravens rally after Baltimore scored a touchdown.
Roll, flip it, got it. Oh, the ball was dropped. He had the 2-point conversion in his hands. Andrews did not hold on.
So the Bills went on to beat the Ravens 27-25 on CBS. Buffalo advances to play the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. The Philadelphia Eagles topped the Los Angeles Rams 28-22 to move on to the NFC title game against the Washington Commanders. Tonight, the college football season ends with the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame in Atlanta. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News. A few months ago, Urbana Police launching a new clergy patrol, pairing local faith leaders with officers. It takes the pressure off the policemen, according to Dave Ashby of UPD's chaplain. Allows them to do the job, the primary job they need to do. Urbana PD hopes the program will help bridge the gap between law enforcement as well as community members. Let's check in news on your Monday. New guaranteed transfer policy for Illinois high school graduates goes into effect this fall. New policy allows high school grads in the state to transfer to any University of Illinois system from any college or university in the U.S. with guaranteed admission. Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial a step closer to finishing. Attorneys for the former Illinois House Speaker formally rested their case. There was a brief rebuttal case for prosecutors, who then also rested. Jurors expected to return this Wednesday to begin hearing closing arguments. Now you're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, happy January 20, Inauguration Day, national holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We'll play a clip from The High Have a Dream, one of the great speeches of all time.
Yes, it was.
Do that coming up here.
And, telling people to service. This is a day of service. If you can get that in or dedicate yourself to something or give to something, I know that it's inspirational, the life that MLK Jr. led.
All right. Greg Solier has joined us now. Johnny said everything is shut in New Orleans today and tomorrow. He said they have no trucks, they have no salt, so good night. So, and then Diane asked a very good question. Do you have e-learning or
right?
And Johnny said we don't go to school. Okay.
I know Mardi Gras will be coming up there in February, and the Super Bowl's February 9th in New Orleans.
Yeah, right.
Too.
Yeah. So talk about heightened security after the horrific event on December 31 down there in Bourbon Street. So they'll have a zillion police officers and tanks and trucks and everything else.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, it'll be New Orleans is generally it's 27 down there right now. He said, and I said, you guys doing okay? He said, we've shut everything down. Everything is shut down.
Yeah. We're all holed up here in New Orleans.
Nothing happening there right now. All right, our weather, ESPN 93.5, brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. You need some great insurance from the local guy. They handle it. State Farm, like a good neighbor. Kurt and State Farm are there. Meteorologist Greg Solier, even colder here, sir. What are you thinking for the next few days?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're in this cold wave weather pattern, even another lobe of the main mother lode of Arctic air, if you will, expected to auger on southward, and the air is cold and even relatively saturated as well, although there's a minimal cloud cover. We may just condense out some ice crystals and flurries later on this afternoon and evening time with full-fledged sunshine out there, even in the midst of that. And then the coldest of the air of the season settles on in tomorrow and tonight and tomorrow, and then moderation anticipated. Those winter storm warnings, by the way, extend as far south as Brownsville and McAllen, Texas, down to about Matamoros, Mexico, all the way around the Lake Charles area. Brother Johnny's place down there towards New Orleans, and extend east all the way into the Florida Panhandle, places like Tallahassee, Panama City, and Jacksonville in line for winter weather-related issues. And then a hard freeze to follow that. Yeah, back this way for the day-to-day sunshine. Again, a couple of snow flurries, even almost looking like a few icy crystalline flurries coming through the atmosphere. Afternoon temperatures to about 14. That's it on a gusty west wind. We're currently right around the zero mark here across the area. We'll bottom out tonight with a few snow flurries this evening. Bitter cold low to follow at 5 below. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Very cold at 5 above, near zero tomorrow night. But then rising temperatures as winds begin to flop into the south. So we'll moderate some on Wednesday. Partly sunny, 24. A couple of snow showers and flurries. We'll up around more seasonal readings on Thursday at 31. 30 on Friday, maybe a little rain snow mix on Saturday, dry Sunday, weekend highs far more manageable in the 30s. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm your host, Greg Solier.
All right, buddy. Thank you. 8:09. Good morning. ESPN 93.5, the inauguration of Donald J. Trump happens at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon, as is in our Constitution. Every January 20 on 4 years, every presidential election. Whether you win re-election or you are new coming in, Donald Trump becomes the second president to serve non-consecutive terms. Grover Cleveland, our 22nd and 24th president, did that way back in the day before the 20th century. It would have been 1890 something.
Right.
All right, so Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, did this clip for X, standing in the rotunda where today's swearing in inside with only 600 people. That's where Mike Johnson was, our speaker.
Hey everybody, Speaker Mike Johnson here. We're right outside the People's House in the People's Rotunda. As you can see, as we pan around, there's a lot of activity being done here in the final moments before the inauguration of our 47th president. We had to kind of call an audible here. The weather outside is pretty fierce. It will be really even worse tomorrow. And so I know there are a lot of people disappointed because they wanted to be out on that National Mall. We would have had hundreds of thousands of people, but we had to do it this way, and I think it's better, as President Trump said, because of the weather for everyone and their best interest. But I just wanted to show you very briefly this stage here in the Rotunda. Many of you, I'm sure, have been here before. This is normally a blank and open floor. They built this entire apparatus in about a 24-hour period. The staff's done an extraordinary job, having called this audible to do this. Hasn't been done like this in 40 years, since 1985 under Ronald Reagan. This one, they tell me, though, will be even more grand. So I'll be walking the president out here tomorrow for a glorious day in the beginning of a new golden age in America. The Capitol building, pan up and just show everybody just the grandeur of the place. This Capitol Dome is the most recognized symbol in all the world. It recognizes, it symbolizes freedom to people everywhere. And tomorrow we will celebrate our great republic here and the inauguration of our 47th president, Donald J. Trump. We're so excited. You can watch along on television, but I know so many of you will be here in spirit. God bless you.
All right, that's Mike Johnson from the Rotunda kind of describing what's happening. Meanwhile, we're getting pictures on Fox from the church service.
More people than we thought.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Eric and Laura Trump, president's son and daughter-in-law. They're in pew 5.
Yes, that's right.
So you're talking about a big family, and I think the big fella at the end of the aisle must be Melania's dad.
Okay.
Because Barron Trump, and Melania's dad he's no shrinking violet. He's a big man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Barron Trump, who's 6'8". You won't see the preacher much if you're right behind him. That's for sure.
There's a picture up now of Vance and Trump talking in the first pew before things begin. Melania is wearing a black hat with a white ribbon around it.
And there's Pete Hegseth. I see him in row 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the place is full. And so this has to be cabinet members, family. Again, logistically, I wonder, how does all that work?
Right.
Do you have an invitation? I'm sure you do. And then you have to go through the metal detectors. You have to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have a double Secret Service kind of a checkpoint to even get near that thing.
Right.
I mean, airspace is protected for sure. All the buildings around. How do you secure everything around that church?
It was wild visiting with Champaign County Board member Jeff Wilson this morning as he checked in. Of course, everything moved inside the U.S. Capitol Rotunda today. I know the inaugural parade is in the Capital One Arena, and that holds 20,000 people, so that's not going to be outside either.
J.D. Vance's wife, Usha, clerked for Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court Justice. So Brett Kavanaugh will swear in J.D. Vance. And then after she clerked for Brett Kavanaugh, she clerked for John Roberts. So Usha Vance has worked with both people swearing in the vice president and president today.
I see.
President Trump will have 2 Bibles, and I think it's what he did in 2017 rather, if I remember correctly. He had two Bibles, and I can't remember, 2 family Bibles. But yeah, you pick the Bible that you put your left hand on and raise your right hand. And it's
Lots
very
of
brief.
big tech attending. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it's good to have him in your court. Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk with X, Mark Zuckerberg with Meta, AI pioneer Sam Altman, Google's Sundar Pichai, and TikTok CEO Shao Chu.
Yep, and Donald Trump is doing an executive order to keep TikTok going.
Is it 90 days at this point?
I'm not sure the length of it, but he made a deal with China and said, if I say no, you're out of business. If I say yes, then you have a business, but I want half of it. He said last night at the rally, he said, we have no money on this. We just get half the company, which might be worth $1 trillion. He said they have to follow what we want or they have no approval. It's a good deal. So we must be able to find out what kind of access and the stuff they're doing with the information they're getting, spying on Americans kind of thing. So there must be some checkpoints. And don't think Donald Trump won't be aware of the deal, as he will be. But there are a lot of people with 38 million followers that are making a living out of this. And so they're happy today, breathing a sigh of relief. And it really helped Donald Trump in the campaign to win.
Right.
He got the young vote by 36% more. And back in the day in 2012, Mitt Romney lost the youth vote by 40%. Trump won it by 36%. So it was dominating what TikTok apparently helped the president do, going on all the Joe Rogans and all the TikTok stuff. Obviously was effective. All right, quarter after Illinois, a tough loss yesterday. Talked a lot about it yesterday. The bad calls on Kasparis, according to what Stevie J says.
Right.
Terribly officiated game.
5 fouls in 9 minutes.
Yeah, well, and 4 of them were like, please, are you serious? It was just took him out of the game, and I believe we win the game with him.
Are we suspicious of
No,
officiating?
just I think some bad calls. I'm not going to go there. Conspiracy. No, we need him in there, but we're real good without him. We're a really good basketball team, deeper than I can ever remember an Illinois team being. When you have Dre Gibbs Lawhorn coming in, when you have Will Riley putting up 19 and limited playing time.
Right, with 16 in the first half.
Yeah.
Michigan State at number 12, taking down number 19, Illinois, 80-78, and questionable calls was definitely the theme in the Illini Nation for hours afterwards on social media. Next up will be Maryland on FS1 at 8 o'clock on Thursday. If you and a friend would like to go, text in Illini. Try to win from Express Employment Professionals, your link to top talent and recruitment opportunities at expresspros.com. 217-359-2255. Number 22, Michigan State over the Illini women's basketball team, 86-68. Kendall Bostic with her 11th double-double with 20 points and 14 rebounds. Next up, Thursday at 7, will be at Northwestern. We had Michigan, number 20, taking down Northwestern. Maryland over Nebraska in Big Ten basketball. And tonight, Rutgers is at Penn State.
You're going to say Kasparis Jonas went to Illinois to people in the years coming, and they're going to go, he did?
Right.
He'll have been here, 8 months?
As an NBA star. Of course, we have Ohio State and Notre Dame in the national championship tonight.
And Johnny says he's a Catholic today because he's rooting for Notre Dame because he can't stand Ohio State. He said it's nothing personal.
Just can't root for the Buckeyes.
Yeah. Planning for retirement can seem overwhelming. Social Security may not provide enough income. Maybe you need to sit down with the really smart people at Busey Wealth Management. They'll determine, firstly, what do you need? What would you like to have, and how can we get there? They'll calculate the gap that might be what you get from Social Security and what you're not getting from a pension, or maybe you have a pension. You need to really talk to somebody who can understand your investment options, like the team at Busey Wealth Management. They can help you in selecting investments and might be appropriate for what you're really planning. And the risk tolerance. How are you when it goes up and then it goes down, and do you want that? Busey Wealth Management skilled professionals can help you understand your retirement income needs, investment options, and savings tools, setting you up to reach and maintain long-term financial goals. Call them at 800-67-BUSEY or visit busey.com, wealth management, /wealth management, and you can get an appointment. Investment products and services not FDIC insured may lose value. No bank guarantee.
Vice President Harris just arriving and hugging the Bidens as they exit the White House, it looks like. So this is all part of the procedure today for Inauguration Day.
I love the fact that the president is at church. I think it's a great example of the faith and the value of faith and the importance of being one nation under God. And I appreciate the Trumps being there with the vice president's family and many, many others at St. John's Church in Washington, D.C. All right, we check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier. You think it's cold this morning? Might be a little colder here in Champaign-Urbana before we get back to the 30s by the weekend.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana have vicinity wide and far-reaching cold wave weather conditions all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where wind chill advisories are in effect, along with winter storm watches and warnings and advisories for accumulating snow and ice. Places like Corpus Christi, Galveston, Houston, over towards Brother Johnny's Place there in New Orleans, and east into the Florida Panhandle over the next couple of days. Back this way, maybe a snow flurry or an ice crystal later this afternoon out of this very cold, bitter cold air. The high at about 14, which is a pretty decent recovery. West wind, though, will be gusty all day long. Lingering flurry chance this evening. Bitter cold in the overnight, down near 5 below. Tomorrow, sunny, very cold at 5 above on a west wind. We'll bottom out near 0 with slowly rising temperatures tomorrow night. Wednesday, partly sunny, not so cold, back into the 20s there. A couple of snow showers and flurries on a cloudy Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday, and into the 30s we go for the weekend. Maybe a rain snow shower Saturday afternoon. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It is Inauguration Day, which is on the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. The markets are closed for the Dr. King holiday. Costco workers, represented by the Teamsters Union, could be walking out at the end of the month. They've authorized a strike if they don't have a new contract by the time the current agreement expires on January 31st. The Teamsters Union represents more than 18,000 Costco workers. Two sides are expected to be negotiating this week. Mortgage rates recently inched up to the highest level in nearly 8 months, though more people are refinancing. Mortgage brokers interviewed by MarketWatch say they've seen an uptick in people who want to tap the equity to buy other real estate or to pay off credit card debt at a lower rate. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jane Coselda, invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Holiday hangover got you feeling weighted down. We're not talking candy, pie, and eggnog-induced pounds. We're talking about the clutter chaos. Old furniture, tangled lights, and junk galore. Time to detox your space with 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Ditch the junk and start fresh. Head to 2menjt.com and schedule your junk removal today. Use code NEWYEAR25 and score $25 off your next junk removal. Offer valid at 2 Men in a Junk Truck, Champaign, Illinois.
You know ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and operated for over 50 years. And you know they help you with your HVAC issues any time of the day or night. But did you know now through March 31st, you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana heating and air system? That's right. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is offering a special until the end of March where you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana system. Call Gina at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning for complete details or visit abcheatingandac.com.
Tim, talk to me about Gale Forex Trucking. Any news?
A couple of new drivers on board that joined the team, and I think I may have one open spot left, maybe two. And we can always buy more trucks if they're good drivers. But it's been a challenge, but everybody has stayed safe, and I appreciate that. We've got a great group of guys that know that they have to safely service the customers, and they're doing that.
Describe the kind of driver you would love to hire.
Somebody that wants to work, knows the importance of being on time and servicing the customer, but also enjoys their quality home time with their family. It's difficult for truck drivers that are stuck out on the road for weeks at a time, so we just don't do that to them. We want them to have that quality time, rest their brain, rest their body, be with their family. That's real important to us.
How can people reach Tim Onstock?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com.
Well, Melissa Courtright, see you at home one winter night coming up here in early February. What do you do with folks that are outside when it's 0? Can you make them go inside, Melissa? How does that work?
Well, you can't make people go inside if they really are choosing to be outside. But I would say for the most part, what we're seeing right now is when it gets this cold, people definitely are seeking refuge indoors. So what CU at Home has done over the past few weeks is we've opened up our office as an emergency warming center, and we've had between 9 and 12 mostly male clients that are accessing our space, and they've been great, honestly, very thankful, very respectful. So that's what we've been doing during the coldest parts of this winter.
And that's at 309 South Neal Street now, Melissa?
Yep, that's where we are now at 309 South Neal. We have really enough space to accommodate some overflow from people who can't find shelter other ways. And so we've got games that people can play, access to a microwave. We've had wonderful donors provide us with food that people can heat up. And so, yeah, it's been a great few weeks here where we've opened up as an emergency warming center.
How do you get a number for people that need some help like this? I mean, how do you know how many are out there?
So we work very closely with Cunningham Township. They have an outreach worker. A lot of people in the community know Martell. He's out there looking for people who may not have found their way inside yet, and he lets us know where people are and who might need shelter.
Okay.
I was also wondering about the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission. They did recently some statistics, the point in time. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, yeah. The point in time is completed every year in January, and so we're getting ready to complete that here for 2025. But if we look at the 2024 numbers, we're definitely seeing an increase in people experiencing homelessness. And I think one thing that's important to remember about those numbers is it doesn't count the people that are just unstably housed. You've heard the term couch surfing, so the people that are bouncing around from place to place with no stability and no home. And so unfortunately, those people are not represented in that count.
Well, and that's sort of a new philosophy for CU at Home, is to put people in some homes and not in this kind of group environment and just kind of crashing on a couch or a cot or something and not really finding answers. The pathway to progress. Explain how that is going, Melissa Courtright.
Yeah, it's going really well, and that's exactly right. We want to put people in home environments where they can live while they're in our program. So our program is 12 to 18 months, and during that time, we try to address what we call 7 points of instability. But really what we're doing is trying to look at each individual person, understand what led to their homelessness, what skills that they need to develop, what trauma do they need to overcome, what addiction issues are they facing, and work through those issues with people so that when they graduate our program, they're not just exiting our program, they're exiting homelessness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're doing good work, and it's not easy. Tell me about One Winter's Night. When is that, and how can people participate?
So One Winter Night is February 7th and 8th this year, and there's a lot of ways that people can participate. There's the general way people think of first, which is to stay outside. You can do that in a box, a tent, in your car. There's lots of ways to do that. Another way is to volunteer for the event that night. And then finally, to donate. We know a lot of people we talk to have either participated in the past or they say for one reason or another they can't participate. But you can definitely still donate to the event.
Okay.
All right. Again, the website, where do we go?
You go to cuathome.us.
All right.
Thanks for all you're doing, Melissa. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, thanks
Stay
so
warm.
much.
Thank you, Melissa Courtright with See You at Home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ESPN 93.5. We did talk to County Board Member Jeff Wilson. He was in line to get into the big arena where they'll watch, have a viewing party, and then the President and First Lady will be there later for the, quote, parade. But I don't know if he'll talk. Maybe President Trump will say thank you for coming or something. But the big rally was last night when he spoke for well over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee Greenwood was there doing God Bless the USA.
Right.
And it was a packed house. And again, people in line for maybe over a day.
Right.
And it's just really cold.
I believe there were numerous balls. I know there were the Starlight Brawl and the Legacy of Freedom Ball. And, I saw Kid Rock performing at one of them. We had heard that the Village people were going to step out because...
Saw 'em.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I would presume these are the original guys.
Okay.
But they definitely have aged. But they knew how to do the YMCA thing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, and Donald Trump did a couple of his,
little signature moves.
Little bit, not a ton. Just kind of stood there and clapped.
Okay.
But, yeah, people loved it inside, there's no doubt. All right, we'll break for the news. We'll play that little clip we played from County Board Member Jeff Wilson, who was out there and sharing some of the stories and the people they're meeting in line and everything else. We'll do that coming up here. Don't forget this afternoon, it's Derek Piper with Kyle Tosk. And you also have the National Football Championship tonight. And think about that. It's been a long time since Illinois beat South Carolina, right? Feels like a long time. That's only been, I don't know, 19 days ago. Yeah. Not even 3 weeks. That feels like a month and a half.
Right.
So, I mean, now Illinois, I think, can we, dare we say, shoot for being a top 12 football team? And being kind of like Indiana was this year, making the tournament, losing to Notre Dame. Only one team lost to the two teams tonight, and that's Indiana. They lost to Notre Dame, and they lost to Ohio State. There are only 2 losses with the participants in tonight's national championship game. All right, news next, ESPN 93.5.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Before greeting President-elect Trump at the White House on this Inauguration Day morning, President Biden's putting his last couple of hours in office to use.
President Joe Biden is now issuing preemptive pardons for former Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley, former COVID point man Dr. Anthony Fauci, and the members of the House Select Committee on the January 6th riot, which would include the likes of former Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
Fox's Evan Brown. President-elect Trump is sworn in at noon Eastern.
Trump is expected to sign over 200 executive actions ranging from border security to energy production. Trump says he's going to deliver for the American people the best first day, biggest first week, and most extraordinary first 100 days of any president.
Fox's Hillary Vaughn. Fox confirms plans to deploy troops to the southern border. It's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the first time it's been on Inauguration Day since 1997. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. New guaranteed transfer policy for Illinois high school graduates goes into effect this fall. New policy allows high school grads in the state to transfer to any University of Illinois system from any college or university in the U.S. with guaranteed admission. Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial a step closer to finishing. Attorneys for the former Illinois House Speaker formally rested their case. There was a brief rebuttal case from prosecutors, who then also rested. Jurors expected to return this Wednesday to begin hearing closing arguments. A few months ago, Urbana Police launching a new clergy patrol, pairing local faith leaders with officers. It takes the pressure off the policemen, according to Dave Ashby of UPD's chaplain. It allows them to do the job, the primary job they need to do. Urbana PD hopes the program will help bridge the gap between law enforcement as well as community members. I'd like to check in news on your Monday. Now you're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you. ESPN 93.5, the all-important cold weather forecast with our meteorologist, Greg Solye.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign-Urbana this Saturday. Widespread cold wave weather pattern all the way down to the Gulf Coast and far east as well towards the Atlantic seaboard. And Inauguration Day will feature temperatures in the teens. Meanwhile, winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories all the way down to Brownsville, Houston, Galveston, Corpus Christi, over towards New Orleans and east towards Panama City and Tallahassee and Jacksonville in the coming days for snow and ice potential all the way down there. Around here, maybe a couple snow flurries this afternoon, even a couple of ice crystals in this bitter cold air up aloft. Mostly sunny, the high to about 14. Gusty west wind. Watch the wind chills. A few flurries tonight, maybe early on with a bitter cold low of 5 below. Diminishing west wind for the day tomorrow. Sunny, very cold at 5, up to 24 on Wednesday. A couple of snow showers and flurries Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday. Maybe rain, snow shower Saturday. Dry Sunday, weekend highs in the 30s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solye.
Holiday hangover got you feeling weighted down. We're not talking candy, pie, and eggnog-induced pounds. We're talking about the clutter chaos. Old furniture, tangled lights, and junk galore. Time to detox your space with 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Ditch the junk and start fresh. Head to 2menjt.com and schedule your junk removal today. Use code NEWYEAR25 and score $25 off your next junk removal. Offer valid at 2 Men in a Junk Truck, Champaign, Illinois.
Champaign County Crime Stoppers has been working to keep our neighborhoods safe since 1986, but we've never done it alone. We rely on the generous support of those that recognize Crime Stoppers as an investment in a safer community for our friends, our family, and our collective future. Your generous support directly funds cash rewards for anonymous tips that lead to arrests. Join us by making a tax-deductible donation today that leads to a brighter, safer tomorrow. Donate now at ChampaignCountyCrimeStoppers.org.
Yeah, we did have a great time with the Cardinal Caravan. That was on Friday, Hilton Garden Inn. Thank you to all their great hospitality. We really enjoyed being there. And the kids were great. The prospects they sent. Ricky Horton is such a pro.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mike Claiborne had a death in the family.
Yes.
Otherwise, he was scheduled to be here as well. But we really appreciated the players being here and that fancy schmancy bus they bring for their caravans. Mm-hmm. They went on to Peoria Friday night. Then they went to Bloomington Saturday night before getting to go home. So you got to meet some St. Louis Cardinals. Who was here? Well, Jose Fermain.
Right.
He's the infielder. You had Michael Ciani. You had
Pedro Pages.
Mm-hmm. And then Ryan Lutis
and Xavier
the pitcher. Scruggs was the
alumni.
Yeah, we went to Korea and hit 60 home runs and was a big player in Korea for a while, but also played for the Cardinals. But no, it was great having everybody. The enthusiasm from all of you Cardinal fans, wonderful. You wore your red. We had a lot of prizes gave away. Everybody got an autograph.
It was fun.
It was really, really fun. All right, 8:36. Earlier this morning, we caught up with county board member Jeff Wilson. He was in line to get into the viewing party. It was 20,000 people. So he definitely got in, but this was earlier this morning. Jeff, where's everybody from?
Yeah, there's people from California, Oregon, let's see, Tennessee we met. Texas. Yay, Tyler, Texas. Yeah.
Hey, are you
we're all having fun here.
We're
waiting for John.
Are you disappointed it had to go inside, or are you happy?
Yeah, well, I was sort of disappointed because Mary Miller gave us tickets that were in the orange area, pretty close to Trump, and that would have been a lot of fun. So, anyway, that's okay. We thank God that we could be here and be part of history. I mean, how could you miss something like this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Jeff, what have the other celebrations been like this weekend? I saw some pretty pictures. You're all gussied up.
Yeah, we were all gussied up. We had to go find a tuxedo, and Becky looked wonderful, and her sparkly dress. We went to the All-American Ball.
Wow.
And Lee Greenwood was there singing God Bless America. It was pretty awesome. Awesome.
Can you describe what it's like with the people in line? The energy has to be palpable.
The energy is really good. You know what? But actually, it's very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. It's like people are just quiet and just anticipating getting inside, and it's actually really awesome. Once in a while, we'll say USA, USA, and then we're all trying to stay warm in this long line.
Well, and here you are with like-minded people, Jeff. That has to be really, really fun.
Yeah, it's not like the Champaign County Board. Yeah. There's a lot of like-minded people. It's pretty funny.
This is your reward for enduring all those meetings.
Yes, amen. I don't know. You think they'll accept me back in the meeting Thursday night after all this?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I might be glowing.
Yeah.
The Capital One Arena, I guess, is hosting the inaugural parade, and that holds 20,000 people. Do you plan to check out the parade later, Jeff?
Oh, we'll be there. We get in, and the doors are open now. Crowds are moving pretty fast here. It's like a big stampede. But yeah, we'll be there for when Trump shows up and the parade and all that other stuff.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're there.
Looking forward to it. It's pretty exciting. Wish you were here.
Yeah, you're witnessing history. This is a big day in America. There's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of people excited, including me, and a lot of people praying for the president. And I'm glad that you're there to witness this, Jeff. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generation, maybe once-in-a-century experience. So we're just grateful that we can be part of it with all these wonderful people here.
Well, that's what happens when you're a young man. You can travel to Washington and do things like this. Jeff, well done, you and Becky and the Millers and everybody else you're hanging out with. Thank you for being on this morning, and get inside, man.
Yeah, it's great to be your on-the-spot reporter.
That's right.
Anyway, God bless America, and thank you, Stevie J. You have a great day.
You as well. Jeff Wilson live in the line to get into the arena for the watch party, then viewing a little parade. Donald Trump will go and be there, at least make an appearance. He did a rally in the same arena last night. Now, that was earlier this morning with Jeff Wilson. We caught up with County Board Member Wilson. But no, it's, you just go through this, and the energy is amazing. And but I've never been to an inauguration. Maybe someday. In any event, ESPN 93.5 coming up on 20 before 9 o'clock. So the Bidens are about to host a tea with the Trumps. It's kind of tradition. You welcome to the White House, your new home. But the checkout for the Bidens was 8 a.m. So they're done with the family residence, and I presume the vacuum cleaners are going upstairs. And we talked about whether there's going to slap in a new mattress or how's that all work, and how do you do that without being heard or known?
Right.
But then the Bidens get done with the tea. Does Joe say, hey, I got to use the restroom? Do you run back upstairs? You use the guest one over on the right here. Sir, you can't go back.
Okay.
You got to come on down. You can't go back in there. We are flipping it like we do on a cruise ship, so we got to get that room ready for the next people. So anyway,
there's a choir from Nebraska performing inside the Capitol Rotunda.
Trying to think who from Nebraska has the power to get that one done.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I don't know if it's their marching band. They got definitely a choir, but they got some musicians in there as well.
Yeah.
But the Capitol Rotunda will host the swearing. I remember vividly watching 1985. I watched that with Ronald Reagan. And, my thought then was, gosh, he's older. Can't put him outside. I mean, back then, how old was Ronald Reagan in his second term? 74?
Right.
Relatively youthful based on today's standards.
You're right.
So I remember him being inside. He was aging, obviously. I remember how crowded it was in there. There was just only 600 people can fit into that rotunda. And then certain invitations, family will be there. And I'm sure J.D. Vance's family as well. But they'll have, obviously invitations, and they had to hustle and do that. They had to tell the people, no chance to mail anything at this point. When they made the decision on Friday, it was going to move inside from Monday. So they just, sent emails and things like that. And then you probably have to show something, obviously, when you get near the Capitol. I can't imagine the security. I'm sure it's got to be fencing and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But, and it'll be on time. President will walk in probably a few minutes before 12 noon. And then they'll swear in the vice president first, J.D. Vance, with his wife Usha holding the Bible or Bibles. And then it's a very short, oath of office. And then that'll be administered by Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice, who Usha Vance clerked for at a different level, not at the Supreme Court. And then John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And you'll notice, I think Brett Kavanaugh probably read the oath, but John Roberts does not. He goes in there and just does it, but you think, oh boy, what you mess that up, right?
All right.
I think there was actually a couple of words in 2017.
Yeah, they had to redo it.
They did it inside by a fireplace. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to get that exactly right every word. So John Roberts will do that, and then he'll say, congratulations, Mr. President, and shake his hand. And that's how that works. And then he'll probably give his wife a hug and a kiss. Barron, who towers over his father. Back in 2017, Barron Trump was probably 5'8", and now he's 6'8", and so he's noticeably tall. I mean, it's just one of those hard to see. You'll see also right around the president will be George W. Bush and Laura, Bill Clinton and Hillary. You'll see
Bushes?
George W. and Laura.
Oh, yeah.
And then, are the Bidens going? I don't know. The Bidens are headed to Santa Barbara. They're flying out to hang with some friends. Now, he'll get a Secret Service detail.
Obama's will be without Michelle.
President Obama will be there. Michelle will not.
Right.
That's correct. And then the Bidens are flying to Santa Barbara to be with friends. I think he gets this flight free. I think this one is on the government. Thank you. See you later. But now moving forward, he pays his way.
Mm-hmm.
He has Secret Service provided as a former president, which you can turn down. One president in the past turned down Secret Service protection, and that was Richard Nixon. Other than that, everybody's had it. So they'll fly there, then back to Delaware at some point. And but I think, you have to pay for your flights. I think they get this first one free. But if you're going all the way to Santa Barbara, how do you get home? Well, fortunately, they've made some business deals. I think they're fine. All right, 8:45. Check your sports. Illinois loses a really tough game in a really tough situation, which I think, and I don't rail about officiating. I can't even remember when I railed about officiating, but this was a poorly officiated game, and it really hurt Illinois. That's
By the way, Ronald Reagan was 73 when it was 7 outside in 1985.
73 is useful.
And then they talked about Biden being 78.
Biden's 82.
I know, but when he was
at
the inauguration. But that was in the 40s.
And Donald Trump's 78.
Right.
So, man, 73, I remember thinking, he's old, man.
I know.
Wow.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
We would like to invite you to the St. Joseph Ogden FFA auction February 1st at the St. Joseph Ogden High School. Dinner and silent auction begins at 5, followed by a live auction at 6. There are no tickets needed to attend, and anyone is welcome.
Items to be auctioned off include fire pits, solo stove, various Milwaukee tools, door lock welding table, various silent auction baskets and gift certificates from local businesses.
You can learn more about our auction at our Facebook page, St. Joseph Ogden FFA.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
All right, sports headlines.
Number 12, Michigan State took down number 19, Illinois, 80-78 yesterday. Coach Brad Underwood comments about the calls against Kasparis.
I'm not going to go there with that one, especially until I watch the film. But the fourth one was awful. I'll say that. He got shoved in the back and pushed into a guy, and I mean, that one was just gross. Gross. I mean, how... But, he doesn't make it to the first media. And so from that point on, it was, just trying to keep him a little bit fresh, a little bit engaged. We bought him a minute to give Kylan a little blow. And then at the 7-minute mark, they were on a little run, and then it was either go back with your hosses and get it done and get back in the game. And I mean, he had a pretty impressive stretch there where he dominated the game and got us right back in it. And obviously the fifth happened.
All right, so do you need to text us on the Fisher National Bank text line 217-359-2255? We have 7 more home games for you to see this lottery pick from the NBA draft, and then that's it.
Yep.
So So you need to see this kid play in person.
And thanks to Express Employment Professionals for giving you an opportunity to win as you text in Illini 217-359-2255. It'll be Maryland, 8 o'clock on Thursday night.
All right. Weather with Greg one more time. Coming up. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm. At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Illinois basketball season is underway. Single game tickets to see your Fighting Illini at State Farm Center are on sale now at fightingillini.com. Great seats are still available. Lock in your tickets for big games against Big Ten opponents before they're gone. Don't miss your chance to see the winningest team in the Big Ten Conference over the last 5 years. Be part of the atmosphere and get tickets at fightingillini.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity, wide and far-reaching cold wave weather conditions all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where wind chill advisories are in effect, along with winter storm watches and warnings and advisories for accumulating snow and ice. Places like Corpus Christi, Galveston, Houston, over towards Brother Johnny's place there in New Orleans, and east into the Florida Panhandle over the next couple of days. Back this way, maybe a snow flurry or an ice crystal later this afternoon out of this very cold, bitter cold air. The high at about 14, which is a pretty decent recovery. West wind, though, will be gusty all day long. Lingering flurry chance this evening. Bitter cold in the overnight, down near 5 below. Tomorrow, sunny, very cold at 5 above. On a west wind, we'll bottom out near 0 with slowly rising temperatures tomorrow night. Wednesday, partly sunny, not so cold, back into the 20s there. A couple of snow showers and flurries on a cloudy Thursday at 31. Highs near 30 on Friday. And into the 30s we go for the weekend. Maybe a rain snow shower Saturday afternoon. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Dedicated Diesel, home of the Dixie Chopper, still got Gail Frerich's used Dixie Chopper laying around the yard there? Or?
Yeah, I believe Gale's is still there. It is a great machine, a big classic, and then we have a couple more really good used models I'd like to get rid of before the snow's gone. But now's the time to check out some great deals while your grass is covered up. I know most people aren't thinking about mowing yet, but this is the time that the prices are going to be the lowest.
How can people reach Tim Onstad?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com. Call the office at 765-793-7131. Get a hold of Andy. The shop is 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562, or Dedicated Equipment on Facebook.
You're the man. Thank you so much, Tim. Always a pleasure. Thanks,
you. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
I have a dream today. I love Dr. Martin Luther King on the Lincoln Memorial steps, reading that so many years ago. Martin Luther King Day being observed as well as our inauguration. And the secrets of John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, President Trump said last night, they're going to release everything.
Wow.
So you'll get to know.
Okay.
All right, Diane, we'll be back here tomorrow.
God bless America.
God
Enjoy
bless
the
America.
day.
God bless America is right. The president now on his way to the White House to have tea with the Bidens, he and Melania, Joe and Jill. And yeah, a lot of history today. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it. Thank you for listening. There's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Have a great Monday. Illinois basketball star Merez Johnson on managing partner at Sarah Champagne, Ben Quattrone.
Ben Quattrone is a great guy. He's like an uncle to me now, a great character person. Sarah Champagne is like a family. Talk to the people that work here sometimes, just to talk to them, and they helped me when I got my car deal. It was very helpful. It wasn't like I was here all day, like I was bonding with people, have a conversation with them. They're there. Oh, I love my car.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
JT Barnhart, president of OSF Healthcare.
As part of my role as president of OSF and have the campuses in Urbana and Danville, it's really just promoting the services that we offer, all of the avenues that we have to take great care of people who live in this area. We had a great opportunity with the Urbana Park District to help support their new wellness center. We did a scholarship fund for the next 5 years that'll allow 400 to 500 community members who live in Urbana to be able to access the center with OSF. And so that came out great. We want to be easy to use, quick access, be able to schedule appointments timely, be able to get seen by specialists within a week or two. That's not always the case in town, so we pride ourselves on that. We hope you don't ever need an emergency room, but if you do get hurt and you are injured, RER, I think, is top notch. And Dr. Bloomstrand in Urbana, the program that he runs, our nursing care, we're going to get you in quick, going to get you taken care of and get you home. Just always love to promote the service in the emergency room.
We already touched on how great the website is. For more information, osfhealthcare.org.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
DSC supports people in living a rich and meaningful life. Make a charitable gift to the Tree of Hope campaign through the end of January and give children and adults with developmental disabilities and their families a future filled with independence and choice. DSC is very close to reaching their goal and need your contribution to make a difference. Find out about ways to give, volunteering, and supporting by visiting dsc-illinois.org. You know ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and operated for over 50 years. And you know they help you with your HVAC issues any time of the day or night. But did you know now through March 31st, you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana heating and air system? That's right. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is offering a special until the end of March where you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana system. Call Gina at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning for complete details or visit abcheatingandac.com.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Holiday hangover got you feeling weighted down. We're not talking candy, pie, and eggnog-induced pounds. We're talking about the clutter chaos. Old furniture, tank of lights, and junk galore. Time to detox your space with 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Ditch the junk and start fresh. Head to 2menjt.com and schedule your junk removal today. Use code NEWYEAR25 and score $25 off your next junk removal. Offer valid at 2 Men in a Junk Truck, Champaign, Illinois.
DSC's Tree of Hope, a symbol of community and possibility. Donations coming in before we wrap up January will support individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, providing programs, resources, and the opportunity to thrive. Every light on the Tree of Hope represents a life touched by your generosity. Together we can create a brighter future for all. Make your gift before January 31st. Visit dsc-illinois.org.
GMA 7A on ABC.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.